I'm the kind of guy who can provide for you, and I can make a nice big nest. See, here's an example of the pebbles that I can bring you, baby.
Right.
Would you like to be mine?
Hang on a
this is where.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh.
No, keep going.
Well, no. So anyway, the important thing is the female penguin looks down, and if she observes and feels like this pebble is worthy of her attention, she will then mate with the emperor penguin male, and then he's the sucker who has to sit on the eggs the whole time once she lays them. So far, it's working out great for the female.
So wait a minute. So he gives her a rock to get lucky.
Pebble.
A pebble to get lucky.
Yes.
Okay. I gave you a diamond ring.
You gave me a rock, just the same.
I fed you
it was
prime
just
rib.
Shinier. You did. You didn't sit on her eggs, though. The twins were mine alone.
I did sit with the twins a lot.
I'm really sorry we got into this with you. Good morning. Welcome to
changed more poo diapers than... Hi, how are you?
Welcome to the Todd and Erin Nooner Afternoon Delight Tea Time.
We're not sure what it's called.
Not yet. We're working on it.
Sorry for the sloppy intro, but that's the way this works.
You know what? I think everyone out there is a little bit happier knowing how the emperor penguins mate.
Okay.
I was doing a service here.
We were watching The Blue Planet. You've seen the series with Richard Attenborough, right?
Mm-hmm. Sir Richard Attenborough.
Sir. And he, it was all great going, and there was barnacles, and there was whales and stuff, and it was all great till the killer whales threw a little pup seal around like a toy and ate it. Zoe was a little concerned.
Yeah, that wasn't really the best introduction to the animal kingdom for her.
But anyway, nice photography.
Although I would like to point out that Disney is just about as sinister as the killer whales and the baby seal pup, because if you've ever noticed in every Disney movie, the parents tragically die in some horrible way, and then the child is forced to make his way through the wilderness, usually with helpful, Disney creatures. It's true. Like, we don't really fare very well in Disney movies. We tend to get knocked off a lot, just if you've noticed.
That's true. Mm-hmm. And Erin, there's one point in every Disney film, including live or animation, that Erin loses it, and that's when someone gets knocked in the groin, a man, and falls down George of the Jungle. He slides down a tree and hits a branch. Funny, ha-ha.
I know it's not. I know it's a horrible thing for a man. I'm so sorry. I know it's...
Why do you laugh so?
Because I have the cultural sensibilities of a 19-year-old frat boy. You knew that when you married me.
I don't think I want to be in bed with a frat boy. I'm sorry.
Hey, you married me. You bought it. You buy it, sister. Brother, somebody. We kind of got off track here, didn't we? Although you girls will admit the groin punch is funny.
Yesterday, Easter is coming up. Oh, we should go to the mountain. Did we go to the mountain camp? I'm so sorry.
I know, we better. Yeah, the morning mountain camp.
If you want to go to the mountain camp, we can do that. Oh, the mountain camp. Look at it. Spring is
Brio
upon
Technologies, brought to you by Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video.
Look at the buds on the tree.
You can go to brioaudiovisual.com. They say it's going to be nice and sunny 50s and 60s now for the next... As a matter of fact, it doesn't rain until next Sunday on Easter. How handy.
We live in a very pretty state.
Why, yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
How did Easter sneak up on us? How could it end up being the 1st of April?
I don't know, but...
I know there's an arcane system they use that determines when it should be, but it feels like it should be sort of like in mid-April.
I'm trying to figure out how Easter went from chocolate eggs to buy me a bicycle.
Yeah.
And that's not our daughter. It's not.
But she does come home from...
The marketing of Easter is totally different.
No, but it's escalated, because it started with the Tooth Fairy, where we got a shiny quarter and we're all totally psyched. And then she came home and said, yeah, Susan got a bike from the Tooth Fairy. And
Under her pillow?
I'm like, what, really? And so, yeah, that seemed like it was excessive. So the Tooth Fairy has visited Zoe, and I think for one of the molars, she got a full $5, which was pretty awesome. But
it's the only thing I had on me.
Well, the important thing, though, is that she also gets a very special gift from the Tooth Fairy.
All right, so I know I'm weird. So the first
Everyone
tooth she
knows.
lost, I gave her $1, and it was tied with ribbon to a yam, which we ate that night, and it was wonderful. And then this last time, when the next tooth came out, it was a clove of garlic and a $5 bill.
See? And in between, there was like a rutabaga or something for one of the front teeth.
I know, it's so weird.
No, but she loved it. She goes, a yam. That's awesome.
Guess what I saw yesterday? Speaking of Easter and little chirping things.
No.
Chicks.
Baby chicks.
Look at the baby chicks.
Oh, they're so precious. Look at their little heads sticking out.
And remember,
oh, they're so darling.
These chicks are all going to go, so your sister is a backyard chicken farmer.
Julie, she has wonderful
4.
chickens.
I called her yesterday. They have 12 different varieties. She did the research to find out which ones can handle the heat and the cold in this lovely state of Utah at the elevation she does exist at.
And we have wonderful eggs that are like dark indigo blue, really
Really
pretty
good.
colors. Can you show the baby chicks again?
Can you do that,
That was
Mike?
beautiful. Is that
Erin's,
possible,
like,
Mike?
freaking out. There they are.
Look at them. My voice is going high and squeaky like
Oh,
I'm
man,
talking to
they're-
bees again, isn't it?
they're
Look
just
how
so
cute. they
cute.
are. Oh, they're so sweet.
And some of them are like $3.99. Now, before
they're
you go
so
out and
cute.
start doing, here's some dad advice. Dad-splaining. Before you go out and do this, do your research of what you're going to need, how long they last, how many eggs you're going to get, what happens when they stop laying
It
eggs.
tends to be a surprise. You may not know these things.
Yeah, where do they go? Do they go to a farm? When
Shannon and Charlie's did.
yeah, they did. But how much room you need, blah blah blah. Because I would love to do it, but renting.
A note to self: don't ever buy a rooster. Don't
You're not
ever,
allowed to. It's against the
ever
rules.
buy a rooster.
It's
ever.
against the rules in Salt Lake City.
Our next door neighbors might be getting chickens. Did you know that the house
Who?
2 doors up have chickens and we never even knew? They're very quiet animals.
Because they're quiet.
Yeah. Unless you get a rooster.
You're not allowed to. It's against the rules.
That's
As a matter of fact,
big
when
relief.
you buy the chicks, there's more information you don't need to know. They say they are 99% positive that they're all hens. So there's like.
How do you tell?
Oh, it's a thing up here.
Because you can't turn them over. They all look the same.
No.
What is wrong with you?
It doesn't work that way.
So you look for the little comb.
Yeah, there's a little difference in
Okay.
some of the stuff, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, it's really cool. We want to do bees too, but it's a rental house. And you can't just throw that in a van and move it.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. Because we have a good flight path in the backyard. We could actually do it this
Actually
time.
do.
Which should be kind
Once
of
again,
exciting.
do your research. It's a commitment of sorts.
I know, but it's so wonderful.
Utah business. Triumphs? Not so much.
We're number 1, but not like in the best way. It's sort of like awesome. Like, for instance, it was an awesome... Oh, I thought you were talking about real estate. You were talking about this.
I'm talking about this.
Sorry. I was going to intro a whole different thing.
No, same thing. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? Feature films for families, and they're the ones who edit, right?
They take out all the
clip
dirty
out
bits from
the
the film
dirty
and then
bits,
give you
right.
what's left.
Have been in court for a while with the federal regulators because of making phone calls, basically doing calls to people's numbers that are not on the do not call list.
Yeah, it's the anti-telemarketing legislature that they passed,
Right.
like 8-9 years ago, where basically you can put your name on a do not call list.
You know this.
Do not send me stuff list.
Right.
And the telemarketers are required to honor that. And if they don't, they get fined.
Now, this is the Federal Trade Commission that does this, the telemarketing rules, and they follow it up. So, if you did it like 8 times, and you called Mrs. Jones 8 times, you go, oh, and put your hand up. They go like, no, down like this. Over. Stop that. And you would stop doing it. Except theirs was a little more, 99 million calls.
99 million. That's a lot of calls.
In the wall, 99 million.
That's a lot of freaking calls. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah. Plus there's more. Another 4 million. I'm talking about misleading statements to induce DVD sales.
We give you a DVD and a unicorn. A real one that flies.
99 million. It's like, how do you even say, I don't know, what's your defense? We didn't know. 99 million. There is no way you can even
Our
comprehend.
automated system developed a consciousness and went rogue. It was like Skynet and Terminator, except for it didn't kill anybody.
It went rogue.
Just annoyed them to death.
We used to, I think we're one of the last families in the world to have a hard line into our home. And we had it for probably 5 or 6 years past when you shouldn't.
I don't think we ever picked it up though either.
No,
It would ring and we'd like, who would be calling
who's
us
that?
who would be calling us on a landline other
Me.
than a telemarketer?
We didn't even know the number to it. And
Yeah, I think it was like part of our Comcast thing or something.
And
So yeah.
eventually we just unplugged it. But it would ring and we went, oh, I wonder who that is.
Everyone knows better than to call us
No
on
one knows
that.
this number.
So
Anyway.
I want to go back to the fine though. So we're talking 99 million calls.
So they came out and they said $45.4 million. And I'm starting to think, because you're a telemarketer.
Well done.
I'm sorry, I would give you more love, but really? And so they
If you
looked at
follow
him.
the rules, then I will support you. But
Right.
that's not following the rules. That's like taking the rules and spitting on them and then stamping on them really hard and then letting your dog poop on them. That's pretty much what that is.
I didn't think you were going to go the poop thing, but one of the interesting things is you think about how big this company is, family-friendly movies, and you think, wow, $45 million, that's a little steep.
It's a lot of phone calls.
So they knocked it down because they didn't have the funds available to pay the $45 million, and now it's $500,000 they have to pay.
They got away with $500,000.
Well, they don't have any assets beyond that.
So that's pretty much what they have
They
left.
probably want to let them stay in business,
Why?
reform their ways, family-friendly,
No.
turn the other cheek.
No.
Don't call me or I'll find you.
No. They did not follow the
Vengeance
rules.
be mine. Is
No,
that where we're going?
they don't get to continue if they
Okay.
did that. They were naughty.
All right. Elizabeth Smart.
This is a big deal, and I cannot blame her. Of all the things that Elizabeth Smart has been, she has
Right.
been beyond awesome.
Yes, she has.
came back from something unspeakable and turned this into a really powerful voice
Yeah.
for people who have been abused. She's a beautiful woman. She has incredible
Right.
dignity. She served a mission for the LDS Church. She came back. She continues speaking out for those who
And
are
is-
missing and exploited.
And as weird as this sounds, she didn't exploit it. And I know that sounds really, really weird, but I mean,
no, there is
she
such a
didn't-
thing as professional victims. There are.
Yes.
And it's
And she didn't, and she didn't, and she stuck with her message. She did everything she wanted to do with the mission and all those different things, and she stayed on track. And
she's magnificent.
she's a very, very brilliant woman.
So in this particular case, that's why I find it even more repugnant that somebody is actually utilizing her name
For what?
in order to push attention onto one of their bills in the legislature.
For what?
In Providence, Rhode Island, there's a proposal targeting online pornography and human trafficking. It's being labeled as the Elizabeth Smart Law. It's grabbed headlines around the country.
Whoa.
Providence, Rhode Island,
Okay.
their legislature.
All right.
The bill is called the Elizabeth Smart Law, and it's really weird. Basically, what it's saying is that they would require a filter for any online pornography, and you, as the consumer, would have to pay $20 in order to have the filter lifted.
Okay.
Which to me would then say we have a list of people who have paid $20 to have their porn
Porn is
filter.
porn, you know. I mean,
Porn filter lifted, which is
she's-
weird.
She's she's like co-sponsor of the bill.
No, she knows nothing about it. She heard about it. She said, "What are you doing?" She had to send them a cease and desist letter to demand that her name be removed
They
from it.
used her name for the bill?
Yeah, and the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, which is an anti-pornography group, demanded that the man behind the legislation, Chris Sevier, stop claiming that they and Elizabeth Smart supported his work because he was going around passing this bill around going, oh, these guys were all behind it and Elizabeth put her name on it. And they're like, no, we have nothing to do with this. I mean, that's really
That's horrible.
sleazy.
That's horrible.
And apparently he's got a history of these kind of weird lawsuits, like an argument about same-sex marriage. He tried to marry his computer, and he did all kinds of wacky little stunts to push some of his legislation forward. So this is pretty much par for the course for this guy.
So this is like if I had, because we're talking about chickens today, and if I had a bill that was going up, and it was to make sure that chickens in backyards had enough food and water, and I called it the Colonel Sanders bill, that would be wrong, because he didn't get involved in that. Okay, just checking.
So good for you, Elizabeth. That is really gross.
All right, we need information.
That is
don't we?
really gross.
Information time.
Let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom, and she is brought to you by Always Black Friday, where it is 75% off every day. They're up in Ogden on 12th Street. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Look, bad things happen to good people, but that does not mean you do not deserve a reliable automobile. These are the people who can help you often in one day. It's UtahCreditApproval.com. And by All Utah Plumbing. It's a good time to go to All Utah Plumbing Heating and Air. Make sure that your swamp cooler or your air conditioner is ready for summer at allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my darling, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Tuesday, March 27th on GephartDaily.com. The UHP says a lone driver was killed Monday night when her Ford Expedition crashed into the concrete median on Interstate 80 near 900 East. The accident happened just before midnight when the westbound SUV suddenly veered to the left and slammed into the barrier. Investigators say the driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was partially ejected in the crash. That driver has been identified as Anastasia Sofil, 30, of West Valley City. Investigators in Summit County are still trying to determine the cause of a series of early morning crashes Monday that killed one man and injured more than a dozen other people. The accidents happened in a matter of moments in a half-mile span on Interstate 80 in Echo Junction, starting about 7:30 a.m. 23 vehicles, including more than a dozen big rigs, were caught up in the crashes, one of which claimed the life of a 61-year-old Missouri truck driver. Icy road conditions are thought to have played a role in the crashes. And around 20 homes in Park City were evacuated Monday morning after a construction crew found an old box of dynamite in a residence in Old Town. A tweet from the Park City Fire Department said the dynamite was discovered under a home in Empire Avenue during an excavation. The fire department, along with the police department, evacuated the home so the dynamite could be investigated and safely removed. Talk about your blast from the past. And time now for a look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you again today by our fine sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's most amazing audiovisual specialists, and by our brand new sponsors at Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash, with outlets in South Ogden and Layton. After a couple of days of rather brisk temperatures, Mother Nature is turning up the heat. We'll see highs in the mid-50s today under mostly sunny skies, and by the end of the week we'll be in the mid-60s. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Oh, okay.
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin morning. Scratch that, back up, noon thing.
We have a friend who does Facebook Live cooking shows, except for he's a bachelor. So
Chris.
Chris Barron's,
I was watching him last night. He made Tostitos. They're, the ones you just get out of the frozen thing and you put them in the oven and you take them back out and eat them.
Did you get them all thawed
It
out?
was very funny.
See?
It
So
was
this might
very
have to be
funny.
a new thing, is bachelor cooking. Because,
Oh, right.
You've
right.
always known how to cook and, utilize the 4 food groups, but Chris is a bachelor. There's no requirement for him to, actually provide nutrition. But there's many men out there like him, many women.
That's true. Do you
Just
know
show me how to thaw.
30% of young adults, and I read this, don't know if it's true, but
Is
it
this
was on the
millennials
internet.
again?
It was on the internet, so you know it's true. 30% of 20-somethings don't know how to boil an egg.
I can't believe that,
Can that be
because
true?
it's not that there's no way not to boil it. You put it boiling water and you put an egg in it till it's done.
How do you hard boil an egg?
You put the water is boiling and it boils for 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, we should talk about this. Easter is friggin' almost here.
Oh, I know.
I'll do it.
You're gonna have to do an egg dyeing thing too.
I'm gonna
with
do it
Zozo.
really quick. Here we go. This is how you do it.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have an introductory
I will,
video.
but I can't wait because I'm
Okay,
dying of
fine.
coffee here. I might not make it. So here's the deal. Pot of cold water, eggs in the bottom, 1 layer, cover 2 inches. Then you get them and you bring them to a boil. Once they boil, 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, cover, push off the heat, 14 minutes. Take it out, cool off the eggs.
I did not know that. Why would you do it like that?
It's friggin' complicated as hell. But
Why
the
would
eggs
you
turn
do
out
it like that?
The eggs turn out like you really want to eat them, and they're not green inside.
Okay, but you're not gonna make 8 dozen like you did last year, because nobody in the house likes boiled eggs but you.
Wonder if you can freeze them.
And the refrigerator smelled like a foot every time I opened it.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we'll have more
I didn't even think of that.
introductory videos like to egg coloring and my bunny butt cookies coming up tomorrow. Bunny butt cookies are the only time that my daughter Zoe is allowed to say the word butt. So she waits for Easter with a certain amount of anticipation.
Unless we're having a Boston butt roast.
And then that
I
comes in
get
handy.
to say it.
You're so childish.
All right, so what are we
Seriously.
talking about? We're talking about Magic Wash.
Yes, Magic Wash. This is cool. It's going to be this upcoming Saturday. We wanted to wait for a nice sunny day because this is the grand opening of the South Ogden location. If you've never been here, this guy's awesome. James does this crazy polymer mixing thing, so he has what he calls a ceramic finish. Basically, we're going to wash Todd's truck at some inferior car wash, and then my car at Magic Wash, where they have the conveyor belt.
Why am I getting
and it's all
the
cool,
placebo?
the flashing lights, and then we'll see how long one stays clean versus the other. But he's also got those awesome vacuums that suck your rug inside out to make sure that it's really clean, and we're going to have all kinds of lovely
Where'd my
treats.
dog go?
We'll have all kinds of lovely treats, so you have to come up and visit us. It's going to be fun, and we'll be
All right.
giving away month passes, like free washes for a month. So it's going to be fun.
All right, so I want to talk about this and a dog.
Tell me
illegal
something good.
Criminal dog, yeah.
Oh, this is so sad.
Criminal dog.
This is like one of those French tragedy movies where it's all in black and white and there's a mime who's weeping quietly. It's one of those.
But these stories are supposed to be good, nice
well,
at the end.
this is what happened. There was
So
a
this
shoplifter.
is tragic. Okay.
This was a shoplifter, and he was caught on camera at the Feville University bookshop in Brazil. Well, he managed to get past the front desk, and he had taken a book, and he was trying to track his way out of the store when he was stopped.
Right.
Well, here's the deal. The shoplifter was a dog. He was a stray, and he had stolen a book called The Days of Abandonment, which was a relatable story about stray animals.
Here he comes.
Look at him. This is the sweetest, saddest
Doesn't
thing
look
ever.
like a criminal.
I know, he's just walking around, just looking at stuff. But I love this surveillance
He
video.
loves them.
So he's gone. He's looking through the books,
He's picking through.
trying to find what that speaks to him.
And he grabs
and
it?
he has stolen The Days of Abandonment.
What the heck?
Now, someone actually caught him, retrieved the book, and gave it back to the cashier who was working the front desk. But they thought it was so amazing that they posted the video of the heist to Facebook. It went viral. It was nuts.
Wow.
And as fate would have it, a group of local animal rescuers had seen the video, and they came in and said, "You know where he is?" And they said, "Oh, well, yeah, actually, he's in the back."
He's working the magazine shop across the street.
He's in the back, and we had put down a bowl of water and some food for him because we could tell he was a stray, and we weren't sure
Right.
who to call. And I said,
Right.
"We will take him." He was given a bath, vaccinations,
So funny.
and they have a foster home for him now, where I guess they're probably reading The Days of Abandonment. But tell me the awesomeness of this dog picking that book. Any
funny.
dog picking up a book to shoplift.
And that telling me something good is brought to you by Always Black Friday.
Always Black Friday. They have 30 to 75% off every day. They're in 12th Street in Ogden.
And we should mention the Christopher thing.
Yes, because that is awesome.
Christopher giveaway. And
I just booked another one for Wendy for Friday night, as a matter of fact.
she the winner?
I'm excited
Every
for her.
Friday we get a winner. All you have to do is go here and put down a little mention, and we draw it on Friday.
Now, you can be on any one of our Facebook pages, and it doesn't matter what time of the day or night you're watching us. If it's Gephardt Daily or Gephardt Approved, just drop a comment on the show today about Christopher's. If it's on the Todd and Erin page where we're all chatting together, once again, just mention something about Christopher's, and boom, you're entered. It's that easy, and we draw a winner on Friday.
All right, so coming up, if you're pregnant, and even if you've decided on a name, there's some other names that are making their way
The Todd and
back
Erin
from
morning stream is
100
brought
years
to you by
ago. And some will
UtahCreditApproval.com.
get
Bad
you
things
beat
happen to
up.
good people, but you can get your credit back
tell
on
you what
track
is coming
and
up
get a
next.
reliable automobile by. The Todd and Erin morning stream is brought to you by UtahCreditApproval.com. Bad things happen to good people, but you can get your credit back on track and get a reliable automobile by giving them a call. 801-404-7201. And also by Columbus Travel with spectacular deals on cruises and all-inclusive vacations. Go to ColumbusVacations.com. And all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special that they can check out your furnace and make sure that it's operating efficiently, saving you hundreds of dollars in energy bills. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Did you know that you can catch the Todd and Erin morning stream on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com any time of the day or night?
Right now, that is the noontime cam. We've been calling it the morning cam.
It's the mountain something cam. How's
right,
that?
very good.
Brought to you by Brio Technologies. Your experts in
Sometimes-
lighting, sound, and video.
Sometimes when you do something right, it causes trouble in your life.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, 2008, when everything crashed, Utah held its own better than the rest of the country because fiscally responsible, and for a lot of different reasons. The housing market, oh God,
We are much more conservatively financed.
it dumped. You know what happened? It just dumped.
Yeah,
And
that was not great.
Everyone's trying to crawl out of that hole. Well, Salt Lake City has more than climbed out of the hole.
It's more like a catapult, really, at this point.
right.
Now, and we can prove this because we put our house up for sale, and we weren't even really thinking about it. But we went, all right, named a price we didn't think anyone would pay, and we had 5 offers in one day.
Over
Of course,
the amount.
So we were thrilled. We sold it, and then we went, we don't have anywhere to move to.
You couldn't buy a house because they're all asking the top dollar too.
My brother is actually a real estate developer. He said, "Oh, I'll find you something." And after we were just about ready to move out, he goes, "There's nothing. Go
There's
rent for a
nothing.
year."
Yeah.
So I mean, literally, there was nothing to buy. So that's the other unfortunate side of this. But for sellers, This is a good time.
So Salt Lake City is already 20% higher than homes prices in Boise, Las Vegas, and Phoenix. All right, so the problem with
All
that,
major areas around here, yeah.
So what's the problem with that? The problem with that is just like unemployment, anything below 3%, and all of a sudden there's no work base. You can't find people, right? Same thing with houses if you want to attract other businesses.
Yeah, when they come in, that's one of the things that they study is like, can your city support a flood of 5,000 new workers or whatever, blah
Right,
blah blah.
and at what price?
And that's the next thing. Can they afford to buy any housing in your market?
And so that's actually starting to hinder us. If you've been downtown in Salt Lake City, holy,
All the new construction.
they
yeah.
are building apartments and condos everywhere. Every corner that used to have a dumpy old business now has a whole block of residential housing.
So regionally, we are number one, and that's sort of
We are,
awesome. We have amazing house prices, except for the fact that
If you want to buy one
you can't buy one now.
or find one to rent. So anyway,
So it's interesting, yeah.
careful what you wish for.
But it's a good problem to have. It was good for us,
Yeah, no, it worked great
right
for
up to
us.
the point where we were technically homeless. But yeah.
Right.
Or you were talking about things that NASA invented that we didn't know about, and it was interesting to me because I don't know if people realize this. A lot of for instance, a lot of stuff that they had never imagined would come actually started from research somewhere else. They find that a lot in medical
Right,
studies
right.
and research, that they're looking for maybe a cure for Parkinson's, but they found something that actually works on Tourette's, or vice versa. And it's cool because NASA actually gave us a pile of science fiction state awesomeness that they used that actually then turned into the consumer market.
I think the number one thing that everyone knows is Teflon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Tang,
Tang is awesome.
but Teflon is extra cool.
What if you could still buy Tang?
I don't think it even exists.
Probably next to the Nescafe instant coffee
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
and the
yeah.
Space Food Sticks I got when I was a kid.
Were there really such a thing as
They,
space
yeah,
food
they sold
sticks?
them. They're like gross things. It's still like string cheese.
Like extruded food?
But like peanut butter, another one was chocolate, another one was this. And we were like, I'm an astronaut. Like that. And our parents just went, you're just not going to go to college. So Teflon, by the way, stupid fact you don't want to know is it's one of the inert materials that we all have in our bodies.
Teflon?
That will not leave, coming from pots and pans.
Really?
Yeah, so if you're anywhere near a pot and pan or a food that was made with Teflon, it's actually in you. And it's one of the things, like 90% of the Americans actually have it in them.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either until I just said it, but it's true.
That's pretty amazing. All right, what are some of the other cool ones?
Memory foam.
We have a memory foam mattress, and it's made Todd a very
See?
happy person.
That's not our mattress.
But it's awesome.
So basically, if you know that it helps with your hips and your shoulders and your back and all this stuff, basically it was developed for the seats that the astronauts sat in when they launched to cushion the launch velocity and all that stuff. I didn't know that.
I thought it was cool. What else?
Dustbuster.
Who knew?
Dustbuster, how do you think they collected the moon samples?
Oh, that's so funny. I guess a shovel and a pail really wouldn't cut it. No.
No.
What else?
This one is the FDA looked at the shatterproof glasses.
Oh, yeah, they're not scratchables.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So basically what happened is they decided to get, they needed something that didn't scratch and they needed something that wasn't glass. And the plastic one scratched. So they ended up developing something that was plastic, yet not plastic, but not glass, and that wouldn't scratch.
That's brilliant. The Super Soaker. Now, tell me this.
This is brilliant.
One, go with me, because this one's a hard one to believe. Excuse me. Johnson is an NASA employee, and he was researching a new type of heat pump that could be powered by water instead of by gas.
Right.
And then he discovered that the new device would actually shoot water with incredible power.
Super Soaker.
He saw the opportunity, and he patented his water pumping design in the early 1980s, and the device has netted nearly $1 billion. $1 billion over the last decade.
He is soaked with money.
Nice.
No, wait a minute. What about intellectual properties?
And that is even...
If he was working for NASA, he came up with a valve.
Well, maybe they gave him an assignment, but he actually hadn't sold it to them yet, so he had the proprietary rights. But things like Invisalign braces, that's another thing that
Is it
NASA
really?
invented. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Isn't that cool?
I like the Super Soaker. That's a great idea. How much is it sold?
$1 billion worth. Wow. Right?
They'll never get old.
I thought it was cool.
Always fun.
All right, old baby names are making a comeback, and some of them
I
are very
love this.
sweet.
I love this. You have it.
Well, some of them are very, very sweet, and then there's some that you're like, really? Because see, we had a professional friend who, and I'm not joking when I say he's professional. Before anyone names their children, they tell him the name first, and he comes up with whatever horrifying nickname could be done by the elementary school bullies.
That's right.
He's like, no, not that one because of this. No, not that one either.
Well, companies do that with their names too. I would love to tell them the example of that airline, but I'm not going to.
I think it's for the best.
Because it's hilarious.
Okay, for girls, here's some of the ones that are coming back.
All right. From 100 years.
Avis. Carmela.
I like that.
Effie. Layla?
No,
Layla's
back
pretty.
up. Effie?
Layla's pretty.
You're effing late.
Oh, yeah. Lulu Minnie. Are you kidding?
Lulu Minnie.
You'd name your child Lulu Minnie.
Is it just Lulu, a middle name
No,
Minnie?
it's Lulu Minnie, like one name. Like my mom, Mary Helen. One
Right,
name,
okay.
two words.
Right.
Polly. Okay. I like Polly. I think it could be sweet. For guys, Benedict, like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Or Arnold.
Claude.
Why would you do that to your child? You know what? That just delays dating. You
No,
might as
it
well
gets-
take up the oboe.
It gets worse. Dudley.
Dudley do right.
Ferdinand.
The bull in that story who loves roses and doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, but you don't want to name a
Matadors.
kid Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
Ned.
You know that's my go-to nerd name.
Ned.
Ned.
Rufus and Waldo.
Wait. Where is Waldo? Rufus. Wait.
That just seems
Rufus.
That just seems mean-spirited. I had a
Rufus.
friend named Philomena, so that was an old one. I remember that.
I'm still back on Rufus.
Theta.
What's this? Male or female?
These are females.
All right.
Theta, Winifred,
Winifred. Winnie. That's from the show.
Yolanda.
Stop. Do you know that show? Our lives, our years, little guy.
Oh, the Wonder Years?
Yeah, Wonder Years.
Oh, is that her name?
I think so.
Oh, that's adorable. For the guys, Clement,
What?
Cleveland, Cornelius,
Cornelius. Oh my gosh.
Noble,
Huh?
Roscoe, Thaddeus, Ulysses.
Thaddeus.
Ulysses is a great name, but
Thaddeus is great.
unless you're planning on having that kid like build a ship and start sailing it somewhere, that's just not a good
What
name.
is the kid in our kids class? He has like an incredible name like Escobar.
No,
or
it's King James.
King James.
Yeah. Oh no, Lord James. Sorry.
Lord James.
And then there was last year there was the kid
It's
named
like Excelsior or something.
the kid was name was Determined,
That's what it was.
and there was another one. Yeah, and there was another one. His middle name was something fierce. And I just remember
Determined is
helping her
such
with
a
the
great name.
Valentine's, going Determined.
That's so nice. Panties and bras are disappearing.
Okay, now I
Not,
still
not from the fashion scene, but they're just disappearing.
maybe you remember that we told you about on Monday the heist of the three Utahns, the plucky can-doers who stole over $500,000 worth of Victoria's Secret merchandise from all of the Las Vegas area stores. And we literally were talking to Daisy about this today, going, how much you would have to have 8 tractor trailers, surely, to sell, like, to steal $500,000
How much
worth
are the
of
bras?
stuff. Well, they're like 50, 60.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So 50, 60. How much do they steal? 1,000, right, on this one?
Yeah, this one, of course, is a much. These are the guys that are just like belittling effort
Yeah, I
people.
don't think
They're not
really
even trying.
Yeah.
This is just sort of a
What are
basic.
the employees doing while these people are rifling through the drawers? Because that's where they keep the extras. Not that I've ever been there.
This is so funny. It's-
Don't judge.
The North Coventry Township police officers are investigating the scene at the
There they are.
Coventry Mall
There they are, walking out with stuff.
with a big bunch of stuff. Do they have the wings? Those look like they're
Did
taking
they
the
steal
wings.
the angels' wings?
That might be part of the problem.
Do the angels
I bet those
actually
are
live
rich.
at the store? Because that's a big question a lot of guys have.
Oh, baby. Oh, kitten. But I somehow, traditionally a $1,300 heist is something police would not spend a ton of time on, which is one of the reasons this is now one of my favorite stories, because apparently there was a
keeps
fleet
going.
of police officers who headed for the Coventry Mall and carefully examined all the footage carefully from the store, and then, of
Right.
course, went through the store scrupulously looking for clues.
Panty by panty. Bra by bra.
You usually don't see that kind of attention from law
You
enforcement.
don't. That's grand larceny. That's grand larceny. It's
That's-
over 1,000.
Yeah, never mind that $50,000 car that just got stolen. Damn it, there's some panties. There are some panties on the loose here.
And when they catch those criminals, you know what they're going to do? They're going to lift and separate them. Didn't see that coming, did you? See what I did there?
That was pretty good.
Thanks.
I was proud of you for that.
All right, what are we?
I'm not going to lie. Nothing
okay.
but cakes. I am so excited.
Tell them.
All right, this is next Saturday, April the 7th. I'm going to be at Nothing But
Don't
Cakes.
show this to us. It's torture.
The reason why this is so wonderful for me is we were actually at April's grand opening celebration of Nothing But Cake. She's in Sandy, 179 South State Street. She's right east of Southtown Mall. And she's been in business now for 10 years. 10 years of buntinis and buntlets and glorious cream cheese frosting and rich, thick, dense, moist bundt cake. And not that creepy dry stuff that your aunts used to bring to the picnics. No, this is like glorious food. The red velvet is like the one item that Todd and I will actually hide from each other with no shame whatsoever, so we can consume it without the other one catching us.
Nothing better than eating a cake with your hands in the furnace room.
There's no shame. First 50 people in line on Saturday are getting a number, so when you make a purchase, you get a punch card for a free buntlet a month for a year.
Wow.
Anniversary is 9 a.m. to close, and it's buy one, get one free buntlet all day long, 25% off retail. There's balloons. She always puts tons and tons of prizes out. It's going to be such a great day. So we would love to see you next Saturday, April 7th, at the Sunday location of Nothing But Cake.
Did you say it was going to rain on Easter?
On Easter. A
On
little
Easter.
bit, but Saturday, fortunately, is sunny.
Oh,
So.
if you're watching on demand, it's 2018. Just
In case you wondered.
in case you're worried about the
You
weather.
didn't know.
All right, let's
Yeah.
get some national headlines, shall we?
Oh, no. We're going to come back in just a couple of minutes because this is a big deal. Somebody bit Beyonce. Somebody bit the queen bee.
I know. Why
At a celebrity-
They call her Queen
She's the
Bee?
queen. She's the queen bee.
Is
yeah,
that what
totally.
they call her?
Do you remember when Adele won like the whole big thing at the Grammy Awards and she dedicated her entire speech to Beyonce and called her the queen bee? Yes, everyone does that.
Why did she do that?
Somebody bit her.
We'll find out who.
Yeah, coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Todd and Erin noon-ish thing that we're not sure about yet. It's Hollywood Connection brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. By the way, do you know they have 24/7 emergency service? I know this because I've seen their trucks out at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Just go to utahheatingandcooling.com. This is serious. Somebody bit Beyonce.
You're not allowed to touch the celebrities. Everybody knows that. Don't look them directly in the eye and don't bite them.
All right, Tiffany Haddish, she put up a really cute picture, a selfie of her and Beyonce on her page. And in it, Beyonce's kind of got her face sort of tucked into Tiffany's so that you only see like part of one eye and she's
Right.
kind of smiling.
Right.
And here's why. Here's why. Somebody had bit her. And Tiffany said, yes, somebody bit her. She wouldn't tell me who it was. And I guess there were all these sort of celebrities there. They had the after party. There was Rihanna, Queen Latifah, Sana Latham, who said, "You're funny. Under no circumstances did I bite Beyonce, and if I did, it would have been a love bite." James Franco was there. I'm kind of wondering about him. Big Sean. But one of the funny ones is they talked to one of my favorite girls. This is John Legend's wife, who actually is from Price, Utah. Can you put that other one back up again, Mike? I'm sorry. But basically, she's like, I cannot live in a world where I don't know who bit Beyonce. And so she had started calling all of her friends
Spill it, Chris.
who knew. She's like, and she goes, I can only think of one person who would do this, but I cannot say she is the worst.
Oh,
So
it's
the
a
mystery,
she.
So the mystery
now we
is still
have a
there.
she.
The mystery is still there. Apparently, somebody at the after party bit Beyonce. Nobody will tell us who. And so literally for the last 2 days, Twitter has been methodically going through every single person at the after party to see if they've issued a denial or not.
I'm not sure this is socially acceptable.
Unfortunately, the list has
Even though
narrowed
it's a
down.
woman.
Narrowed down to 2 names. Oh, it's terribly not acceptable. 2 names. Lena Dunham from Orange is the New Black.
Right.
She has not. Oh, she's not in Orange is the New Black. What is the other one she's
I
in?
have no idea.
Anyway, Lena Dunham, you know her. She is one that has not issued a retraction or a denial.
A denial, yeah.
Yes. And the other one is,
Girls.
what?
Girls.
Girls, thank
I think
you.
it was Nicki Minaj.
I would not put
Come on
that
in.
past her.
Come on in.
Right? Because she's
Come on, have
crazy.
a seat.
Yeah.
All right, thank you about Lena Dunham. Now, it was It was, Girls was on Showtime.
Yeah, I don't know. I never watched
Water?
it.
It's been off for a while, yeah.
Tasty mint.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I'll be back.
I'm going to say Nicki Minaj.
I could totally see that because she's crazy.
bonkers, yeah.
Right? I mean, not even like the fun crazy, but
No,
like the scary,
no,
angry crazy.
crazy.
That could turn on you and bite you like
Yeah.
a snake. Yes.
I totally think it was her.
I think you're
Snake
right.
hands. I can totally see her doing that, just glomming on.
Why would you even do that?
No, it's insane.
But apparently the person, according to Tiffany Haddish, said that they reached up and just went and clumped right on her jaw.
And who's the other person other than Lena Dunham?
The other one, Kate Foster. I don't know her,
Don't know
but
who
she's an
that
actress.
I'd be really pissed off if someone bit me.
And especially in the face, because that's like so deliberate and mean.
Yes.
It's not even like a friendly bite on the shoulder that you could go, you had a few too drinks. I mean,
What part of the body would be socially acceptable then? Because you said the face is totally out of bounds.
Well, there's no really social, but that just seems
I think I'd be
hostile.
super keen if anyone bit me anywhere, really, except Jay.
Well, this is true.
And nice little gentle bite.
He leaves.
The other thing is that's a big risk because Beyonce and Jay-Z, I mean, wouldn't you think that they would be surrounded by crazy bodyguards all the time?
That's the part I'm shocked about. And apparently it was a private after party, which is why I guess she wasn't like totally being glommed on by security guys. But I guess she went over and told Jay-Z, this crazy wench just bit me. But I don't think there was any kind of altercation or people thrown out, which kind of shocks me.
Here's another alternative. Was it Solange? Her sister,
who is also crazy and bitter,
and she's the one that fought with Jay-Z in the elevator,
right? And that was right at the it was the museum, the big ball that Anna Wintour puts on.
Yeah, the Met Ball.
The Met Ball,
yeah.
Thank you. And they came out and she was all pissy and she's walking around.
We think it might have been her sister,
Beyonce.
Solange.
Oh, to get even.
Solange, yeah.
To get even for something that they did as childhood.
No, don't you remember they were in that group together and then Beyonce just
fought
basically was huge.
In the elevator.
And now Solange is like, opening for acts in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I think we might have found the answer.
I would because she went up, reared up and whacked Jay-Z really hard. So why not Beyonce?
Yeah. And that's one of the only people that you would think would now not be dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's the good point.
Blue Ivy. She's a nudger as well.
Okay, we're going to stop here.
2 hours later.
Yeah, okay, all right, go.
I know, this is an issue. Nobody understands. We have to know who's bit her.
Right.
Thank you, Daisy. I hadn't thought of that.
Dun, 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 dun.
That it was Solange.
Well, I think
she's the only one they would not murder for doing this.
And if she said nibble, that would be different. But
no, it was a bite.
2018, this is how this would work. You'd walk up to Beyonce. Sorry. You'd walk up to Beyonce like this, and you go, Beyonce, it's 2018. May I bite you? And you'd say, that would be great. Then you can bite. Otherwise, you're invading her space, right? Unless you're married.
I don't think they talk about this in cultural sensitivity classes. But the point is,
They should.
Somebody bit her on the face, which
office.
shows clear meanness.
Like
this is somebody who really wanted to hurt her.
Someone's making coffee in the coffee room. Someone walks up and bites him. It's totally unacceptable.
And then it could be one of those awkward employee-acted scenarios they always put into the training films that we used to have to watch all the time.
The leering man staring over at the worker.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
They should. It's a serious topic, but
It
they
is.
should make better videos.
It was hard to
teach
take them
people.
seriously because, you want them to look more realistic.
All right, now it's time for national headlines.
All right, fine. Now we can go to Daisy. I just feel a little bit better with deciding that was Solange. News is brought to you, of course, by Fink and McGregor. Mortgage is made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. Look, they can find you anything. You've got a credit score of 600 and above, you can get a mortgage, and usually within 1 month. And also by the Vein Clinic. Go to theveinclinic.com. You can sign up for a consultation. Do you know that they have pain-free methods now, and your leg looks amazing, like literally 2 days later versus 6 months wrapped up in bandages? I know because they did it for me. And always Black Friday, of course, where everything is 30 to 75% off every day. Just go to 12th Street in Ogden. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world headlines on Tuesday, March 27th on Gephardt Daily. A day after the Trump administration closed a Russian consulate and ordered 60 Moscow diplomats out of the United States, Kremlin officials said Tuesday they won't tolerate what they say boils down to political blackmail. The Russian foreign minister called the U.S. decision, as well as similar moves by other Western governments this month, a colossal blackmail campaign. The White House announced Monday it had ordered the Russian diplomats to leave, a response to the poisoning this month of a former Kremlin spy and his adult daughter in a British shopping district. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said Monday that he will introduce a bill to remove hemp from the list of controlled substances and legalize it as an agricultural product nationwide. McConnell announced his plans to introduce the Hemp Farming Act of 2018 while in his home state of Kentucky, where the potential of hemp farming has popular support. Politico is reporting that senators from both parties have expressed support for the measure and that it could be included in the next farm bill due in September. And the American Dental Association unveiled a new policy advising dentists to prescribe opioids for a period of no longer than a week, a response to what experts say has become a national health emergency. Deaths from opioid abuse involving prescription drugs and illegal opioids rose to a record level of more than 42,000 people in 2016, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Further, 40% of the deaths were from prescribed drugs. The number of opioids prescribed from dentists in the United States increased from 2010 to 2015. Still, most opioid prescriptions are written by other chronic pain physicians. And time now for the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by our distinguished sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's top audiovisual specialists, and also by our brand new friends at Magic Wash, home of the ceramic car wash, with outlets in Layton and South Ogden. After a couple of days of rather brisk temperatures, Mother Nature is turning up the thermostat. You can expect highs in the mid-50s today under mostly sunny skies. By week's end, we'll be hanging in the mid to upper 60s. Chance of rain about 20% heading into Easter weekend. That's it for now. For more news across the nation and around the world 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, thank you, Daisy. I got to tell you about All Utah Plumbing, allutahplumbing.com. They've got all the services waiting for you. You know what? If you're going to remodel a bathroom, they did this great job. And one of the kids had some challenges in the family, and the claustrophobic feeling he got when he's in this tiny little shower was causing a problem for the family. So they went in, they blew it out, they put big glass doors in, so it was like a luxurious thing that was open and made him more comfortable, along with the rest of the family. So if you're looking for doing a remodel, that's the kind of detail they look at. If you're looking for something like that, just go to allutahplumbing.com. All right, so you have this story.
Yeah, it's kind of a mini tell me something good, but I liked it so much that I wanted to follow it up. This is a story we actually told you. It's a sheriff's deputy's act of kindness. Michael Myers was a homeless gentleman, 67 years old, and he'd been panhandling on the roadside back in November when Deputy Jake Sealwell saw him, and he spotted him from his cruiser, pulled over and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but walking along the highway is illegal, and I don't want you to get hurt."
Yeah.
So he, instead of giving him a citation, he struck up a conversation, and he asked him for his identification. He says, this is often an excuse we hear from people who have warrants, or maybe they're lying about their name, but when people are truthful and sincere, we often take notice. And so that's what the sheriff's deputy felt when he started talking to Michael. So in order to get approved for a Californian identification card, you have to show 2 government-issued forms of identification or proof of residency.
So like a water bill?
Yeah. And his lack of documentation was a big reason that Myers had never been able to get a job or even a bank account.
Services.
Or even register, you're right, for government assistance. And so this is how sweet this officer is. He spent the next month jumping through all the bureaucratic hoops, and he used all of his pull and his friends, like, hey, could you please help me?
Right.
And he managed to get an ID for his new acquaintance. So when he finally tracked down the 67-year-old's birth certificate and he got the necessary documents, the story was picked up by all these news outlets who went, hey, this is great, man. He's got an ID, and now he can go back into the world and have help.
Okay, this story could twist off horribly right now.
This is where it became...
Is it?
This is beautiful. A private investigator named Mark Askins heard about the homeless man's story, and he thought, what could I do that would actually help him?
I'm frightened.
So he had learned that Myers had grown up adopted, and he'd often felt excluded from the family, which I don't understand or accept.
Right.
And eventually he was disowned after the family. So when his childhood friends and his parents had passed away, he thought, I don't have anybody left.
Right.
So what happened then was Mark Askins, the private investigator, started going through old records, and there was a long phase, which I don't fully agree with, where it was a deathly secret and nobody got to know who their birth parents were, and you
Right.
could just get to wonder for the rest of your life, which I don't agree with. But
And also, it goes into health issues. What's the health history of your family?
you know, and it's like Zoe. I've never wanted her to wonder ever what happened ever. I don't. But so what they did is they created a registry where if you did want to contact a
Yeah.
birth parent,
Oh, yeah, I've
or
seen these.
birth parent said, look, if you want to contact me, I would like to do
So
that.
if you do find out the name and both of you go on, you're both giving permission to go ahead and talk to each
Yeah.
other.
So what Mark found is that somebody who had all the information based on his birth certificate and stuff had put up this request
What?
that if you'd like to talk to us, we'd like to see you. And he found his father had passed away. His mother was still alive. She had only been 17 when she had him, and he had multiple brothers and sisters. And when they finally found out and they heard about it, they actually flew down to California to meet him.
What?
And now he has identification. He has a place to be.
Family.
He has family. And he has a history. Is that the coolest thing ever?
I can't talk.
I absolutely love that.
I
though.
can't talk.
And because one sheriff's deputy wanted to be more than
So I'm
you're a
walking-
homeless jerk and
So I'm walking on the street.
wanted him to be and talk to him like a human being.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, so while we're both drying your eyes,
All right, so coming up,
We'll
I
come
have a
in a
story.
minute.
I have a story. Superhero powers. So we watch Black Panthers. We've watched Marvel and all these things. And
Avengers,
I've
Iron
got
Man,
the-
Captain America.
Well, I've got a list of ones you don't want. And that's coming up next.
There's such a thing as ones you don't want.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin noon thing. I don't know about you, but have you ever been at a picnic and you grab the ketchup bottle and it's just a horrible experience?
That's pretty much our son Zachary every day.
Turn the ketchup bottle upside down. Maybe it's a little watery, and then you squirt your ketchup out. And the whole time you're doing this, you feel so let down. You say, couldn't there be a better way? The answer is no, but someone still came up with one.
And this is sliced ketchup,
This is like fruit leather,
a slice of sauce.
right? And it's
So what, it's like dried?
it's like fruit leather.
Really?
Yeah, here, open that up. Let's take a look at what it looks like. It looks like the canned cranberry sauce. It's jellied. There it is.
That does look like fruit leather.
So what do you do? How do you do this?
Well,
It's a startup page.
So it
It's
doesn't
$15,000.
it doesn't get moist,
Well,
and it just sits there like
do you take your French fries and rub them against it?
that's another problem.
I don't understand. Do you heat it up? What do you do? How does it get on all the particles of food you want to eat? They raise
Unless it
15.
instantly disintegrates into some sort of a
I don't
fluid,
think so.
but I don't think it
doesn't
does.
look that way. It's like leather, fruit leather. They got $15,000 for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it just go, unless you have a hard time with ketchup, I don't know how this is going to fit into your life. Bovine
see that.
food, they have this approach to ketchup, and one has to wonder, what about mustard next? I could see, the only thing I could see is putting on a hamburger, right?
Yeah, and then you've got another bun and lettuce, and maybe the lettuce would moisten it a bit so it would soften, but that's pretty, yeah, I mean, French fries, there's nothing.
I don't know. Anyway,
And like on a
$15,000
hot dog?
is easier than that. and you flip a lid, you didn't open a package, and they're done. I mean, it's like a made up problem. It's like people. It's like having a hard time cutting celery. No, well, here's the new celery knife from Bosco,
You'll never suffer with celery again.
and the person's cutting and goes, "Ow."
Oh, my hand, I
that's
have
my-
carpal tunnel.
That's my infomercial move, the go-to. It's like you put laundry up. Is your laundry too heavy? Put the laundry up and go, oh. I could win an Oscar for that.
Does pouring ketchup give you back strain?
Right? Is it ruining your life, keeping you up at night?
All right, now explain the superpowers thing, because I didn't think there was such a thing as bad superpowers.
Well, we've been kicking this around. I found a list of some we put together, and it's hilarious. They're talking about Marvel, and they talked about all the different superheroes and what they can do. Thor's got a hammer.
He's only got one eye now, though.
The Captain America's got a shield, and he can jump and punch people. Here are some of the ones. Like
Black Widow's just got
Black Panther.
awesome.
Okay. So who's that?
Black Widow.
What's that?
Scarlett Johansson.
What does she do?
She's just got everything.
She got it going?
Let's just say there's not a man who won't crumble into dust before her.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, no, she was in all the Avengers movies.
Oh, okay.
She just stands there and she's pretty much awesome in a cat suit and is like, okay,
Is
you
that
win.
her? That's her power.
That's pretty much it.
Mesmerizing people.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's a given.
Here's a new one: the power to turn gold into kale.
I don't like
This
that
guy's
one.
funny. This guy's funny. An ability to see 5 minutes into the past, so you can watch yourself screw up again.
That's good.
That is good. The power to hold your urine for 34 hours. What kind of suit would go with that? I don't know. The ability to generate kidney stones at will.
You do enough of those just
Holy
spontaneously,
mackerel.
okay?
The ability to make people's hands turn purple.
Why is that a superpower?
Read that one.
The power to bring consensus to a group of mice.
And finally, this is the one I kind of want. This is the one I want for superpower: the psychic ability to make evildoers forget the last 4 digits of their social security number.
Oh.
The torment.
They would be dead in the water.
They would.
Right?
They just give up.
Right.
They would just give up. What you
The
have
power to bring consensus to a
to
group,
a group
of
of
mice.
mice.
We all agree and the tiny paws come up.
Where's the cheese? All right, so is this a new community? What is this?
This is what happens when you're a billionaire and maybe you have a very strong basis of faith and you have turned your vision into something that nobody else wants.
Skew?
Well, here's the deal. There's a massive development planned for 4 rural Vermont towns. This is
Where?
why
Where?
Rural Vermont.
Vermont. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I thought you were trying to laugh at me by making me say rural again.
No.
And they're not so thrilled about it. It's called the New Vistas Project, and it's being put together by an LDS millionaire, well, probably a billionaire, to be completely honest.
Okay.
That is his vision is that he wants to do this down in Provo, Utah as well, and then he also wants to do it in Vermont. And he's been buying up massive chunks of townships.
Right.
And it all comes basis on these papers by Joseph Smith, where he talked about the vision of a place that was all done by trade and by barter, and that there's no money involved.
Like, you fix my barn, I'll paint your house.
Yeah, and they actually tried this social experiment with Orderville down in mid-Utah, down
they
in
call it?
central Utah, Orderville.
Well, there's your first problem.
And Brigham Young actually wanted to try that in honor of some of his writings, but it's pretty interesting. So they want self-sustaining community with housing for 20,000 residents.
Okay.
And he says,
Is it kind of like off the grid and everything?
yeah, and he says, look, we'll still follow all the state laws and stuff, but all the small rural towns that have been basically towns are finding big chunks are being taken out of all of their area, and they're like,
They're buying it.
Yeah, the billionaire, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to squish it all together and make my town, and they're like, we don't want you to do that. And unfortunately, down in Utah County, they're not all that thrilled about it either.
Wait a minute.
So he says, look, I'm just trying to purchase the land to conserve it so it doesn't continue to be broken up. Well, you are, because you're
gathering
taking
property.
chunks from all the townships.
Yeah.
But in any case, so at this point, they're actually introducing legislation, the lawmakers, that would oppose the New Vistas project. And David Hall is the developer and the owner, and he's saying, I don't see how you can stop me. And so they've actually had to go to this level where they're trying to actually do a state law that would prohibit him.
Let's run down this. Can we
Yes, of
just
course.
review? This is a gentleman who wants to build a town where no money is exchanged, correct? Everything's done on barter, okay? It's going to be off the grid. They're going to be self-sufficient.
Self-sustaining.
These are the first Mormon hippies that I've ever heard of. Seriously, they have gone hippie on us.
He didn't say anything about tie-dye. I mean,
It could happen. You never know. So seriously, this doesn't. If you took the word Mormon out of this equation, it just sounds like hippies getting a commune
we're
together.
all going to sit and do our art.
I got macrame going like crazy. I'd wear macrame underwear.
It's interesting.
Would you like some? I'll trade you.
It's the New Vistas Foundation, and it was interesting because I actually tried to go look it
like
up
the
and
idea.
see what his vision was, and it's really hard to track anything down online about it.
Right.
Other than the stories about the
love
opposition to the plan, but actually seeing like plans or future development options or things, there's nothing really there to look at.
It's
interesting.
I'm into the concept. I think the concept. I've always been fascinated with communes and such.
Where everybody shares and pools resources.
Well,
and
because I was
they
poor
try to support each
and
other.
living in Maine, and I wanted them to share with me, so I could have food.
And you would do an interpretive ballet dance for
I
them.
would.
I will pay you through dance.
Would you like some macrame underwear?
It'll
All
be
right.
interesting to see.
They're hippies.
So
They're
can they do? They actually introduce legislation that could actually stop it.
Zone them out. I don't know. We'll
That'll be
find out.
interesting to see.
So I saw this next thing, and I'm just a nerd, and I have a question about
No,
it.
because this is awesome.
Picture number 1, if you please. This is a cruise line. Look how big it is, right?
Yeah, this is the Silver Spirit. I think it's the biggest one.
It's one of the
One of the biggest, right?
But it wasn't big enough. So
But
what
it's
they
really
did-
big.
What they did, they decided that they would pre-build a 15-meter extension. It's almost 50 feet. Cut the ship in half. Go to the next one. Cut the ship in half.
Can they do that?
Well, they just did.
Okay.
And
no,
then-
they literally cut it in half,
They
like
cut
with a
it in half.
gigantic butcher knife.
Yeah,
Like a clean, sharp line all the way down.
right. And so they cut it. They're going to move those apart.
Get out.
And here comes the 50-foot section. They're going to drop in the middle. There it is.
So
in
they've
front.
already pre-built the 50-foot section that
Yeah.
will just basically fit into all the other pieces that they just chopped up.
Yeah. Doesn't it seem a little expensive to do that if you're only going to expand it 50 feet? I mean, how many more rooms are you going to get?
Wouldn't you want to do more than just 50 feet?
That's what I was thinking.
And I'm wondering about structural. I mean, structurally,
Well,
is that...
that's they say, yeah, we did good, but you'd have to be wondering if you lived on one of those edges and how that would work out for you. A rare feat in maritime architecture. That's crazy. Yesterday, I
Only
was...
for 50 feet, though.
I know. You'd take like a stretch limo, wouldn't you? You take a
Let's be
car
stupid. Let's make it stupidly long.
and make it extended 150 feet and make it awesome. And they're going to make enough money on that. And how many stories? 6 stories with rooms and stuff. It's a lot of duct tape. I was out yesterday, and I got to tell you, I was down at IFA, and there's something about walking into a room and walking into the store, and all you hear is peeps. All you hear is peeps, and they probably
so sweet.
hundreds, and they have 12 different varieties of chicks, because backyard farming is like a new thing, and not a new thing, 10 years old, but people are doing it. It's coded.
The urban farmers, like my sister.
You can do it, and people have chickens and they lay eggs, and the kids have a good experience with them, and you get to eat the eggs and all that stuff. So I was down there just to see, because I feel like, oh, this is Easter. And don't...
This week.
Can I be a dad thing?
Yes, please.
Okay, don't get them for your kids and ducklings for your kids unless you plan on raising them.
Yeah.
It's the meanest thing.
It's not cute.
And don't buy ones that are dyed, because that's just horrendous. So anyway,
Wait, why would you do that?
people dye them purple and junk like that
Why would you do that to a chick?
because they're mean.
That's awful.
And they do them pink and stuff, and then the pink one's got to walk around and explain himself to everyone, and they're all judging him because he's pink. So anyway, So what I did is I went down, and the birds are all healthy, and they're waiting to be adopted by farmers and backyard urban farmers. And so we're going to leave you. First of all, thanks for watching the noontime thing we don't have a name for.
Yet.
Enjoy the other shows. Share us if you want, please. We want to annoy as many people as possible.
Thank you.
So, in honor of Easter coming up, we're going to leave you with some little chirping, and we'll see you tomorrow.
It's like baby bird therapy. It's
It
so
is.
sweet.
Enjoy.